Hello there. This is part 3 of the What If Savage Survived His Wounds on Mandalore story. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2 yet, I highly recommend watching those, otherwise this won't make any kind of sense to you. So now let's get back into the story. We open part 3 with Palpatine sat on his throne on Coruscant, as he receives a massive disturbance in the Force, an overwhelming and sickening pulse of the light side throughout the galaxy. Back on Atalon, Bendu wakes up and looks up to the sky, as he senses it too. Ahsoka and Savage wake up in the World Between Worlds, and they stand to see Sabine standing before them. The two are confused at first, and begin to make their way down the path. After a lengthy conversation catching the two up, Sabine runs to a portal, and watches on as Ezra kills Kanan in service of the Emperor, while Zeb carries Sabine into the Phantom kicking and screaming. Ahsoka tells Sabine that if she chooses to save Kanan, then Ezra would stop them from escaping and kill them all. And Sabine replies saying he can try. Savage intervenes by telling her it's not worth the risk. You could save Kanan only for Zeb and Hera to die, or herself. Sabine lets go and allows Kanan's death to play out. After facing Palpatine, the two instruct Sabine to go back to her own portal, and they will do the same. Savage and Ahsoka exit back to Malachor, to the bottom of the massive pile of rubble, and Savage asks Ahsoka if Vader could have survived. And Ahsoka responds telling him that if Ezra became a Sith, then he must have replaced Vader. The two now go into hiding. Sabine exits her portal and narrowly escapes the grasp of the newly dubbed Darth Kaon. The Ghost crew leave Lothal permanently, return to the safety of Yavin 4. As per his agreement with Palpatine, Thrawn's TIE Defender project has moved off-world, and Ezra rules Lothal how he sees fit. Under Ezra's rule, Lothal prospers. The stormtroopers have left the planet and Darth Kaon has raised a homegrown military to defend the planet. The Ghost crew falls apart with the absence of Kanan and Ezra. Hera leads Phoenix Squadron, and Zeb leaves to join Blue Squadron, and Sabine joins the Rebel Shock Troopers. Ahsoka and Savage return to Yavin. Savage and Ahsoka argue over what to do about Ezra. Ahsoka arguing that they can't save him and he's gone, and Savage arguing that there's always hope. Ahsoka walks away from him, and Savage goes off to find Sabine. The two meet and he asks for her help, and tells her that he believes that she could save Ezra. Sabine says that Ezra is dead and Darth Kaon is all that remains. Savage says that he doesn't believe that, and Ezra's love for his found family is strong enough to overcome. Sabine snaps and asks him if it was enough when he killed Kanan, and he's the last person to be lecturing her on family. Savage tells her that she's right. He killed both of his brothers, and that will always keep him awake at night. But he wouldn't be there today if the Jedi didn't give him a chance. Savage then tells an unresponsive Sabine that he'll go alone if he has to, and walks away. Sabine walks into the forest to blow off some steam, and sits on a rock to reflect. She feels a familiar presence. She feels the comfort of Kanan's energy around her. She jumps onto her feet knowing what she has to do and runs off. We find Savage preparing Ahsoka's T-6 shuttle for takeoff, and Sabine walks up behind him. She asks what he's doing, and he replies saying they're going to need it if Sabine's going to train. Sabine asks what he means, and Savage puts a hand on her shoulder, telling her that if she's going to fight Ezra, she'll need saber training, and he turns and walks up the ramp. Sabine follows. The two enter the cockpit alongside Huyang. Sabine asks if they're seriously going to just drop into Lothal and fight Ezra alone, and Savage replies, telling her no, and they'll need an army behind them, and tells them that they're going to Crow'Nest, and Sabine objects, and Savage says that without the rebellion's help, Mandalorians are their best bet to take Lothal. Sabine panics as the two enter hyperspace. The two drop out of hyperspace at Dathomir. Sabine asks what they're doing there, and Savage says that Maul had hideouts there during their time as crime lords, and they're there for something specific. Sabine asks what that is. Savage says it's something very meaningful to her people, and it will help them gain favour with her family. The two exit the ship and walk through the ruins. Sabine asks what happened here, and Savage tells her that at the end of the war, Count Dooku sent General Grievous to wipe out the Night Sisters, and Sabine looks around in utter terror. The two enter a cave, and enter a room to see a shrine to Duchess Satine, but with slashes across her throat. Savage walks up to a podium, and picks up the Darksaber. He turns around and hands it to Sabine, and tells her that this is the weapon he's going to train her to wield. Sabine reluctantly takes it, and accepts the responsibility for Ezra. This is the end of part 3. Let me know if you want to see a part 4, as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or today. It depends if I get my act together for the review of Loki Season 2, Episode 1. But until then, guys, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Bye.